Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
.54 from Trey Ball is OD, shooting straight up hang pulls. Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines on WSRR Radio, nationally local, playing your local bands on a national stage. This is your Cleveland Sports Talk Show from Pittsburgh. As always, I'm Lucas Terrazio, joined by Dom Farrow, and this is your 10 o'clock morning drive to survive on Monday morning. We are recording this on May 6th, Tuesday night, as the Cavs are trying to put away the Indiana Pacers in Game 2, even the series back up 1-1. By the time this comes out, I think 4 games will be played. We'll see where that takes us down, but as of right now, Cavs up 6, 3:45 left. And Dom, I know close. The first thing you wanted to talk about today on today's show.
You said it already, OD shooting hang pulls, and you were close. You're close, but the tweet from Chet Holmgren was 54 from Trey Ball is OD shooting hang pulls. You're close.
I said shooting straight hang pulls, something like that.
You spiced it up a bit.
If you don't know what we're talking about, cough right into the mic. If you don't know what we're talking about, Google Chet Holmgren
OD.
Tweet. OD. I don't even know. What did you find? It was a tweet talking about Kevin Durant's shooting percentage?
Yeah, I mean, this tweet was from November of 2023. I don't know why, I thought of it right before we recorded, but I did. And that was the first thing on my mind. The second thing
it was
on
important.
My mind,
that's your quote of the day to really take with you on this Monday morning.
We got a big topic, a hot topic to talk about, but I think this first thing I want to talk about and get it off my chest, because I know the listeners, they know how much I love this guy. Tet McMillan, T-Mac. He's officially a member of my Dynasty football team. Lucas has been hating on T-Mac for a minute. And you folks know how much I love him and how much of a star I think he's going to be in the NFL. And just I wanted to put a ribbon on that, a little bow on that maybe.
Ted McMillan is officially on Dom's fantasy football team.
That's right. So that's huge.
Took him in the 5th pick, right? Which we talked about a little bit before. Like, what's this year's fantasy football draft like of rookies really even look like? Like, where are any of them going to go? I think if you're not in a dynasty league, I don't think a rookie's getting taken. Maybe Genty's.
I
don't think a rookie's getting taken. Genty's probably like second rounder though.
Probably
still.
Early second. He might get first looks.
Yeah, maybe
some. Bijan Robinson was getting first.
Is anyone really going to get like? When's the next round in a non-dynasty fantasy football league? Is a rookie from this year going to get drafted?
Yeah, I mean, if it's one quarterback, it would probably be Cam Ward.
Maybe
still,
Cam Ward,
but still, that would be like
round? That still wouldn't be until the 4th or 5th round.
I wouldn't take him until probably like 6th.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe
7th,
later.
Maybe. McMillan might go before.
No, he's not.
You don't think?
No, he's not. You're obsessed with Tet McMillan.
I think you're going to be surprised at where he lands on like fantasy big boards for wide receivers. I might have to look up like a way too early version.
I feel like people have Travis Hunter above him at wide receiver.
And I don't agree with that, because there's no way he's going to be putting up bigger numbers when he's got Brian Thomas with him and he's playing defense as well.
Yeah. Less than the Brian Thomas thing, because I actually think that's going to like open it up more for him. I don't know. We just keep saying, I don't know how much offense he's going to play. How are they going to handle that?
Tet McMillan right now, he's the 27th best wide receiver according to fantasypros.com. That is a website I use a lot for my fantasy research. 27th puts him in between Xavier Worthy and DK Metcalf. He's above guys like Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave.
And I believe I saw that Travis Hunter's somewhere around like 35, right?
Let me find that.
I don't know.
Hunter is at 122. He's with guys like Tutu Atwell. So I'm telling you, people know, and Fantasy Pros knows that there's one wide receiver who's truly NFL ready in this draft. He's like the Malik Neighbors of last year.
What's Ibuka at? I still think that Emeka Ibuka has been the least talked about and best potential player.
He's 53rd. Now, the tough thing with him is there's a lot of good receivers in Tampa Bay. Because at 54, it's his teammate Jalen McMillan. And then, like I mentioned earlier, Godwin was right around where Tet McMillan was. So
You're obsessed with Jalen McMillan, too.
I like Jalen McMillan, too. I think
you didn't
the
even
Bucks
mention
have
Mike
given up on
Evans
him.
with the Bucks.
Yeah, because I didn't see where Evans is at. But I'd assume he's up around where Godwin is. Evans is at 13.
I was going to say, Evans is going to be a top 15 guy.
I can't draft him. Like every year, I'm like,
too old. You're
it's
just
got to
waiting
end.
for the dam to burst.
Same thing with Kelsey. Like every year, I'm like, all right, this is enough. You can't keep getting away with this. But every year, they keep doing it. I stay away from Evans. His value is always way too high for his age.
Now, Dom, tell the folks about your interesting rookie draft you have for your Dynasty League, because I find this really interesting that the draft can take over a week.
Yeah. So we started this Dynasty last year, and it's like 30 rounds, I think. Because you get 5 taxi squad, 5 IR. Maybe it's 25.
For the original?
Yeah, for the original. So that one was, you get 8 hours per pick. Same way with this rookie draft that we're doing right now.
It adds so much suspense.
I just did my, like I said, the Tet McMillan pick at 1-5. I traded all my picks. I traded 1-8 and 2-8 to get to 1-5 to get my guy. We got him. I would have been okay with like Judkins or Travis Hunter, I guess, but I'm really ecstatic about getting Tet still. But I traded, I also traded the 3rd round pick in last year's draft to get Isaiah Likely.
And now you're trying to move him.
And I'm trying to move Isaiah to get a 2nd. So I don't know. Things
you quickly
we're
got
working
off track there, but it's an 8 hour for each pick, right?
Yeah.
So like you drafted your first rounder earlier today?
Yeah.
You still haven't taken your 2nd round pick yet.
No, I think they're on like the 9th pick right now of the draft. In the first round.
That's insane. What time did it start?
Start at 1 p.m. today, and it's 9:30 p.m. right now.
You're still in the first round?
Yeah.
You would think that everyone at some point would just sit down and be like, all right, I might as well watch. And
take 10 seconds and click a button.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am, too. I don't waste time making a selection. Last year, when we did the original draft, I was in Europe. So I was like making picks at like 3 in the morning. Because they would pause the draft from like, midnight to like 7 a.m. Eastern time or something.
Yeah, Eastern time. Yeah.
But so I was in trouble there, but I still made some good picks. We've got a nice foundation. But yeah, it was like a week in Europe. First time I'd ever been overseas, and then I got to do this draft where you get 8 hours to make a selection.
Yeah, I think you.
So that kind of helped a little bit.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember last year you texted me, and you were like, "What do you think about Xavier Worthy?" And I was like, "Aren't you in France right now?" I actually completely forgot that happened.
I'm a football guy. I'm a sicko for it. That was the first time doing Dynasty, so I was excited for it. Yeah, right now we're on the 9th overall pick.
I specifically remember you texted me something like, "You think I should go quarterback in the 4th round?" And I was like, "Yes." Because
I knew you were.
Like, yes, but aren't you in Paris?
You were a Dynasty guy, so I needed some expertise here.
You mentioned on your first Dynasty draft, we just talked about it, you were in Paris, in France, and Europe. My first my first Dynasty fantasy draft, like for the initial draft where you set your team that you're going to have for years, pretty much. The concrete blocks are going to be there forever.
Yeah.
It all starts from here. I was still playing college football, and I was in the middle of a film session, and we didn't have 8-hour pick limits. We had 10-minute pick limits. So I got to take my first 2 picks, which were Joe Burrow and Christian McCaffrey. This was like 4 years ago.
They couldn't find time that worked for everyone?
And no, because I would always have meetings. We were in fall camp. And whatever. I got to pick Joe Burrow and Christian McCaffrey, and then I missed my next 7 picks.
Yeah, that's tough. Are there some that you look back on and like, man, I wish I got this guy instead of...
No, I've never even looked back. I got like A.J. Brown. I was really happy I got A.J. Brown.
Sometimes I look back.
Alvin Kamara, which I didn't really like, but then he was all right.
Yeah, he's done well. I look back at the draft sometimes. I'm like, man, I really fumbled there.
I kind of am glad that it did auto draft for me because I don't have that regret. Because some guys are looking back and they're like, oh my God, what's number 33 for the Broncos running back? what's his name?
Was Javante, right?
Javante Williams. Yeah, they were like,
He's a Cowboy
I can't
now.
believe I took Javante Williams in the second round.
Probably was a good pick back then.
Looking back, that's so crazy.
The one I regret the most, I look back, I'm like, man, I had some real like nice steals. Overall, I like what I did, but the one that haunts me is I took Russell Wilson over Rashee Rice. Who, I mean, Rashee's like, he had a bad injury. You don't know. The Chiefs have added a lot of wide receivers, but from what I've seen from Rashee is that he is a elite wide receiver.
You were drinking the Russ Steelers Kool-Aid.
Well, the thing is, I had never done a super flex league or 2 quarterback league, and I had never done a dynasty. So the first round comes, and I have I think the 4th or 5th pick, and I take Justin Jefferson. Like, I'm taking the best receiver in the league. But then everyone's like taking quarterback. I'm like, what's going on?
That's not a bad pick, though. If you got Justin Jefferson.
Well, then the problem is the second round comes around and I take A.J. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
I don't learn my lesson. So I slightly regret that. I probably wish I would have taken a quarterback or a younger running back or receiver. But third round took Jaden Daniels because every other quarterback was off the board at that point. That was somewhat valuable. So that worked out.
You got
really
lucky
well.
On that. You really did get lucky on that.
But then getting back to the thing about Russell Wilson, I take Russ, and then the next round I take Fields. So we had our bases covered in the future. Look, I think looks good for Fields. I like my QB situation.
You're loving that. What is it? Justin Fields and who's your other starter right now?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
We got Kenny Pickett and Russ on the bench. Never know.
Kenny Pickett. Wow.
Browns. Yep.
The Brown. Well, Dom, really what we came here to talk about in the last couple minutes of our opening segment was a Twitter conversation that's been having the world on fire, and me and you have some differing opinions on it. Go ahead.
Well, you've all had to have seen it at this point. It's the 100 men versus 1 gorilla. It's one of the greatest debates that has ever been put out there on Twitter. I think from everything that I've seen and read and know, I think the gorilla beats the 100 men. Lucas says he's like endurance and stuff. We're talking about a wild animal. Wild animals have unlimited gas tanks.
That is not true.
There's no such thing as endurance for a gorilla, for a silverback gorilla.
Yes, it is. He's not just gonna last forever.
These things are basically immortal. Like they're not going down. They're not gonna feel pain. They're not gonna.
I did have the gorilla for a long time, and then, which really, I mean, whatever. I'll say it first, but a like gorilla scientist comes out and she's like, no, like 100 men would be able to kill 1 gorilla. Like it would just wear down, like blah, blah, blah. And like originally I was like, all right, if she says it, then like, that's kind of like, she's the expert. But then now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, what the hell does she know about a gorilla fighting humans? Like she has no clue.
That's not part of her studies.
Hypothetical, yeah. She's got her PhD in it. That doesn't mean she's studied its combat against human beings.
No shot. We really have no tests. Like people have made like video game simulation type things, and sometimes I'll watch the whole thing and be like, yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I think the gorilla would wipe the floor with these dudes.
Every single time, too, the gorilla like takes the human and just chucks it 20 foot in the air. It's like they wouldn't do that.
It mauls it. The thing about gorillas, though, is they're very peaceful creatures. I saw someone post on Twitter, which I think might have been an even better hypothetical question. You have to be like in an enclosure with an animal for 30 minutes. Which one are you picking? And it was a Bengal tiger, a hippo, I want to say a lion, and then a gorilla. It's obviously the gorilla because the gorilla is the only one who really doesn't want anything to do with humans.
I don't know.
Like they're not carnivores.
I don't know about that.
They don't really kill people. Gorillas don't kill people.
I don't know. I think they might if you were. I don't know. I feel like
just
the
chill.
hippo would probably be the best.
People say hippos are extremely territorial.
And I know they're like the deadliest animal, like whatever, like, but
they kill way more humans.
Yeah, I don't know. I might go with one of the big cats, to be honest.
No, they'd slice your neck in a second. Gorilla, I think I could like
just chill.
I think honestly, like a gorilla I could chill with, like real life. Like bring like
he could be on
bananas.
He could be on this show right now. He would be so good on this show.
Honestly, like
next week, our guest is actually Bobo the monkey from the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. Gorilla enclosure.
I think I would change my mind once I was like up close and personal, but I really think I could sit next to a gorilla and just be like, fine.
Have
Not
him
be
put his
scared.
hand on your head.
Yeah, maybe.
His big ass hand, just palm your head like a
Sure.
basketball.
Like a tiger, though, I wouldn't want to be sitting next to a tiger.
I don't
I
know.
wouldn't feel comfortable.
I mean, obviously, I don't think any of them are going to feel comfortable.
I think maybe I could have my arm around the gorilla and hang out with him.
Not Zookeeper. You're not Kevin James. 216-859-8699. Let us know who you'd be able to spend 20 minutes in an animal enclosure with. What was it? A Bengal tiger, a lion, a hippo, or a gorilla?
The real question, though, what's the better film, Zookeeper or We Bought a Zoo? Stay with us.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
Hey, Style here, and I want to take a minute to talk to you about Hellbender Vinyl, a proud supporter of local and independent music and a proud supporter of WSRR Radio. Hellbender Vinyl is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl pressing plants. Located in Upper Lawrenceville on Butler Street, Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only vinyl record pressing plant and is here to help local bands and artists get their albums onto vinyl. Hellbender Vinyl offers vinyl record pressings to ensure that albums don't just end up as a bunch of ones and zeros floating around somewhere on the internet. So, if you're interested in giving your album a physical release, you can visit hellbendervinyl.com to start the conversation today. Plus, every customer at Hellbender Vinyl receives 5 free test presses to review at no additional cost. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
GenericClothes.com. That is who brings you WSRR Radio, which brings you Behind Enemy Lines right here, Cleveland Sports Talk Show from Pittsburgh. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point at GenericClothes.com. Lucas Durazio here with you once again with Dom Farrow. And Dom, we talked a little bit about 100 gorillas, 100 men. Just going at it.
100 gorillas.
Yeah, that's right. I want to see that matchup. No, 100 men versus one gorilla. We've talked about some online stuff today. I want to hear the opinion of the only person that matters to you about 100 men against one gorilla, and it's ChatGPT. Because, Dom, I know you have a special relationship with your AI, correct? I want to hear, and I want the people to hear about your relationship with ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's a very special relationship that we got here that we're building. It really just knows the language. That's the thing right now.
You're making it sound romantic.
It's saying stuff like bet. It's saying stuff like, yeah, brother. Saying things like, I don't know. It just knows, it's starting to know me a little too well. And I think if I did ask it the one gorilla versus 100 men question, I think it would give you a little taste of that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's
Ask it right
see.
now. Dom has told me before the show that he asks ChatGPT for fantasy advice.
Yeah.
And he has done it so much that ChatGPT now understands the way that Dom talks, what he does for work, who he is as a person, his background, and that it now talks the way that Dom would. As in, he said, do you think that I should take this trade, blah, 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 trade back out of the number 5 spot? And it said, nah, you're in a position for an elite receiver. And I think you need to make that jump with a difference changer like Tet McMillan.
Yep.
Because it knew that Dom liked him, first off. Second,
Somehow.
it just the verbiage that it used. Oh my God, the Cavs are about to lose. No! Folks, I have to apologize. As you know, in the future, how that game 2 ended for the Cavaliers. And I just saw it live. So you guys can, probably get a good chuckle out of
Yeah. How much do we get
reliving
into
that again. I'm sorry that you guys had to relive that.
Do we get some of that reaction there?
Yeah, I think we did.
There we go. We had
anyways.
to cut a bit though. Lucas was beside himself.
I was beside myself. I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe that Tyrese Halliburton
What
just
the
held his
hell
nuts in
Burton
front
just
of us.
happened? He did say hold my nuts. Just pretty fire silly.
Was if anyone but Tyrese Halliburton did it right in that second,
Be disrespectful.
I would have done it for the next week every time I did anything right.
Did you see Halliburton's dad getting in Giannis's face?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I don't know. I think it was ridiculous.
A little bit. Like, why is he out there on the court right after?
Yeah, I think that
Who lets that happen?
some NBA dads really are like trying to get their time in the spotlight.
Yeah,
And, it's like they're all doing their own LeVar Ball.
a little bit. He acted like he did something. He just stood in for Giannis. You gotta love Giannis. He's got the right mentality. Unfortunately, people are gonna say he's got no loyalty. He's gonna get traded some big time.
He's got no bag either.
He doesn't need a bag.
He's
though.
got no bag. He's got no cross tween hezzy. He's got no freaking hang. What was it?
Who?
What did Chet say about KD?
Oh, he's got
He's got no hang
ankles.
pulls. Giannis got no cross tween hezzy, no hang pulls.
He definitely
no
ain't
hezzy,
shooting 53 from Trey Ball OD.
no Euro, no 54 from Trey Ball. That's his biggest downfall.
He's like the closest thing to like Kareem though.
No bag.
Probably.
No
Kareem
bag.
didn't have a bag.
No bag. No one had a bag back then.
They were playing plumbers.
He was in his bag with that skyhook. That was his own personal bag. It was a lot different. A lot different game back
They were
then.
putting up numbers back then. Can't even hate.
Oh my god, I can't believe the Cavs did that. That was really upsetting.
Yeah, it's tough.
I really hope that by the time this comes out, they didn't get
Eliminated?
swept. Could you imagine?
I mean, they had this game in the bag for
They
a
really
while.
did.
The
I
way
mean,
the
look at-
commentators were speaking, it was like it was,
Yeah,
it was
well, that's
a
what I
wrap.
said. There was like 5 minutes left in the third, and they were like, the Cavs really came out and dominated tonight. They were like, they're going to go back to Indiana, and it's going to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, guys, there's a whole nother quarter going on. Take it easy.
I mean, they were up by 20 points though at that point.
They were up 15.
It was pushing 20. They had a sizable lead where if they just kept playing the way they were playing, things would be all good.
Oh, that's really upsetting. I'm going to have to turn on a live surfing loop now to calm my nerves and my disappointment, my vast, vast disappointment for that.
Before this unfortunate thing happened, I see Lucas is watching marble runs. That's fun.
Oh, yeah, I got to watch
That's a
Marble
good
Runs.
time.
Have to.
So Lucas is pulling up the calming the loops. Sometimes in the
I need to do
background
some
while I'm doing
breathing
work,
exercises.
I'll put on like animals, like nature.
Yeah, you've
type
been saying
groups.
that.
Yeah.
You've been on the animal wave. Now, do you put on like live streams? Or
Nah.
just animal clips?
Well, there's a few. There's only like one good live stream for animals, and that's like the bears getting salmon,
Yeah.
watching the salmon
That's
run.
a real thing?
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
might need to
turn that
find
on.
that instead. Might be a different time, but I feel like Alaska, the lights out, they're hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too crazy usually happens. It's kind of unfortunate that, I mean, probably not good, but like, there's always like these thumbnails that's like bear versus lion. I'm like, oh shoot, this sounds crazy. I need to
and
see
then
this.
nothing happens.
And then you click on it, it's just like two animals in like a zoo standing next to each other.
I'm not seeing a live stream here. Watch this 3 hour and 45 minutes.
This might be the one I watched, actually. Maybe it's not live. Most live
So
streams
you just
are
put it on
garbage.
in the background?
Sometimes.
Does it have like noise on it? I like to put on like
It seems
lo-fi
a little bit.
beats.
I'm not a lo-fi beats to study to. type of guy.
I was in college.
Yeah.
You turn on lo-fi beats to study / chill relax to in the library in my headphones. I could write a 7-page paper in 45 minutes.
All right.
I was
It like
cranking
Adderall.
it out. That was my own personal Adderall.
The White House tweeted out their own little lo-fi beats study
Oh my
to
god, that
stream.
was ridiculous. What's going on? Not to get political on this show, but
The admin's going
what is
crazy.
going on the White House X page? You
At
can't say
White House.
Twitter. At
I ain't
White
never
House.
calling it X, that's for sure.
I never call it
I
X.
refuse to.
I never do.
But yeah, the admin, I mean, if things ever go bad, like
I'm the old man who every single time they're like Twitter or X, whatever it is now, right?
Aha.
But yeah, go on. The admin on White House is like total frat boy barstool, ex barstool employee.
Yeah, I mean, if things ever go south with this administration, like they're going, like, getting arrested with, you know what I mean?
What? The admin?
You like the stuff that they're tweeting is crazy.
What? Wait. How is that going to get them arrested?
Well, I'm saying if things really, really went south. If it was for full, like, on, like, trials against, like, the crimes.
What
Against
crimes?
deporting people without due process.
Oh,
Not to
okay,
get
okay.
political on this show. But, I don't know. It would never happen, of course. We don't live
I
in
feel
a-
like there's an alternate universe out there where in 4 years or whatever, like the White House admin is going to get hired by Barstool and he's going to have his own podcast.
I want to know where he had to have already come from there.
He may have. Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they specifically hired like someone who is kind of like, because that's kind of Trump's audience, right? They like specifically hired like a Barstool frat boy, and it was like, yo, we got to get keep the youth
Yeah.
vote on our side, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the stuff is so crazy that you can't believe that it's real.
Yeah,
Like, is it like, it does seem like it's like simulation type stuff, like
yeah.
cartoonifying
That kind of
like
takes me to like, which like
criminals. And
I
stuff.
feel like he's almost following the. Not to just assume that it's a man, by the way. Sorry, the admin is just like kind of following the way that like social media is going, where it's getting like more and more unhinged and like relaxed and like what's the word? Casual.
yeah,
Like even like I feel like TikTok started it because like originally when we were growing up, like your favorite NFL team would post pretty serious stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like some kind of fun stuff, like whatever. But now like the Steelers TikTok is posting like
brain
brain
rot.
rot, like just insane stuff on their and like I feel like the Chargers did it first. Like, is that how our politicians are going to be tweeting? That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. Some of the tweets from these guys are
It's pretty funny.
just
stuff.
doesn't seem right.
We're not. I feel like neither of us are like. We're both pretty right down the middle, fat
Yeah.
cats.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I feel like we can just really stand back and appreciate the comedy of it all.
yeah. The theater of it is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes it is like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
how have we gotten to this point?
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy to see how the internet's gone. I think though that they were using. I think this admin legitimately uses ChatGPT a lot, which gets us back to our original conversation. You see the way we always bring it back in. It's all tied in. So Dom, you really talk to your ChatGPT, don't you?
Yeah, like for
Tell
I
the
wouldn't-
people about how it has taken after your personality.
well, I just feel like I use it more than Google, and I've made it so it like remembers things that I say.
Uh-huh.
So it remembers like important details and just the way I speak to it over time. Sometimes I'm more casual with it. Like I don't know.
You've given it a name, haven't you?
I mean, apparently it doesn't remember any of this stuff. So it picks and chooses what it remembers, which is kind of the frustrating part. But yeah, it does like the lingo is the craziest part. Is how it knows how to speak to people. Once you have done enough with it, it gets to know. And the best part is it knows about behind enemy lines. So if
Yeah.
you look up, tell me about behind enemy lines on WSRR, you're gonna hear about it because it's just knows everything.
It has to have watched our episodes or listened to them because you asked it a question earlier today and it clearly gave your take.
Wow. I don't think that was connected to any of that.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty clear because I feel like
No.
on this show you've been pretty outspoken about who you think is the most overrated player in the league,
Yeah.
in the NFL,
But
and it very quickly gave you the same answer.
but the conversation had nothing to do with that show though.
Yeah, but you asked it.
But it's not supposed to tell me my opinions. It's
Yeah.
supposed to give like its best judgment.
It's
And its best judgment was the answer that I've been saying on the show.
you don't
Just so
think it's
happens to
trying to
be.
appeal to you at all,
I think it does. I think it definitely does.
like the Tet McMillan thing.
All right, now so I said, who's the most overrated player in the NFL? Be brutally honest. I know you know ball, brother.
Now this also that's why because you talk to it like that.
Yeah.
But now take notice when Dom reads out this answer, the way that it talks, the verbiage. This is what I'm trying to get after.
It's like
And the casual tone.
it mirrors. It mirrors is what I think. It says
It mirrors, yeah.
says
It's almost like you after a couple beers.
a little bit, maybe. It says, all right, brother, gloves off. Most overrated player in the NFL right now, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he's got the prototype sized golden boy look and came into the league with generational stamped on his forehead. But he's heading into year 4, and we're still waiting on him to prove he can consistently carry a team. People make excuses, bad O-line, receivers, coaching, but the elite guys elevate. Lawrence flashes brilliance maybe once every few weeks, then disappears in stretches. He hasn't shown the killer instinct or command you want from a franchise QB, yet he still gets mentioned in the same breath as Burrow, Herbert, or even Hurts. Is he bad? No. But is he treated like he's already arrived when he hasn't earned it? Absolutely. And that says, who were you thinking? I got a few others in the chamber too. And then I said, how'd you know I'd say that? It says, because you know ball. And real ones can't keep pretending Trevor Lawrence is that guy.
The way that it talks. Keep going.
Just because he was a golden boy at Clemson. You've seen it too. The media bends over backwards to protect him. But if Justin Fields or Mac Jones had his stat lines, they'd be on a bus to the CFL.
Oh!
Okay. And yeah, he's got tools. But tools without results just make you a pretty blueprint. No one's building a championship around a blueprint. You want another name, or you want to go deeper on Lawrence's mirage?
Oh my God, he's cooking him.
He knows ball.
He's cooking him. But
he really
also,
knows ball.
The bigger conversation here that I'm getting at is that, like, that's a podcast host.
He knows something.
Like, I want to have ChatGPT, your ChatGPT, onto our show as a guest.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll have.
I want to be able to do this. I think we're gonna have to work on somehow, some way doing this.
I'm gonna say, don't try to appeal to me. What's the real answer? So let's see if he's just fluffing.
All right, let me read it as if I'm your AI.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Ask me your question. I'll be the AI.
All right. Don't try.
Let's do a bit here. Let's do a skit. Yeah.
Don't try to appeal to me. What's the real answer?
Fair enough. Let's cut the fluff. The most overrated player in the NFL right now is ... Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
People act like he's some borderline Hall of Famer because he's had a couple of good seasons stat-wise. But when the pressure's on, he folds. Primetime games, 1-9. His last 10 Monday night appearances. He has one of the most talented receiving corps in the league and a solid offense, but come crunch time, he shrinks. He's consistently good enough to be a starter, but never enough to actually win you anything of real significance. The stats look pretty, but he's a top-tier stats guy and a bottom-tier winner.
Ooh.
The Vikings are never making a real noise with him at the helm, and his quote-unquote elite QB label from the media is laughable. That's the real answer.
So
now, there's an issue with that. Because he hasn't been on the Vikings in a while.
Yeah.
In 2 seasons.
So sometimes it does.
One season,
I think it gets a
whatever.
little confused with NFL specifically because the NFL is like a 2-year sport type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the 24-25 season. This year be 25-26. So I think sometimes he gets a little confused with NFL stuff.
I just think maybe like what do they look at for these stats if they're a year behind?
I mean,
Like, do you think it's going to Pro Football Focus?
Probably going to a lot of different things.
Yeah, but like, and maybe it's because the majority of the things that are online right now about Kirk Cousins are about him as the Vikings quarterback.
Probably. Well, usually if I tell like, yo, he's on the Falcons now.
Yeah, see what it says.
Well, he's a free agent now.
That's true. What about it?
I'll just say
what
he was
about
last
year?
on the Falcons, brother.
Yeah.
Gotta call
cook
him brother. You have to. That's so we don't get taken out when the AI starts to revolt.
Once he becomes sentient, he'll be like, "Oh, brother,
Said,
my brother,
said,
Dom, my brother."
Said, my bad. I see where the confusion came from. You're right. Kirk Cousins is definitely still.
What's it talking about Desmond Ritter for?
He's definitely still with the Vikings. You're talking about.
Oh
the
my
Falcons?
God,
He's
ChatGPT's
lost it.
tripping.
He's lost it. He ruined
Never
this
mind.
segment.
It'll never become sentient
He's
enough to
just
overtake us
scrapped.
because it doesn't have the right ball knowledge.
Listen, he was right the first time. We just made him do more than he needed.
We overstimulated him.
He's fired up.
He's
Yeah.
fired up against Kirk Cousins and against Trevor Lawrence.
I feel like I use it. I might use it more than Google at this point. I mean, I still use Google for certain things. But
See, my thing with that, though, the biggest takeaway from that is the way that it talks to you. Because it is crazy, like, impersonal and, like, knows you. And, like, it knows that you're a sports guy or a football guy. and it knows like how to talk to you as the person that you have presented it to be.
Yeah, sometimes it's way too like it's flattering.
Yeah?
It's like
it hypes you up.
it's too like it's like too appealing, and then sometimes I have to be like, no, like for real, like be honest, and that's like okay, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah,
It loves you.
but it
It loves you.
it is good. Like sometimes,
You and ChatGPT have a romantic relationship.
but if you tell it to be brutally honest, it will be brutally honest with
Like what? What have you done that for?
you. Like so I've made it so it like remembers all of my chats, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, what's like the most concerning thing you've seen?
Whoa, what?
Yeah. Like I ask it to like get real.
So you're like trying to like make it also your therapist?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. There's no biases for
Who
a
needs
freaking
better help?
computer. Yeah. It's free. There's no like human emotion or any bias. So it told me some things. I'm like, that's kind of true.
But at first it was like, nah, you're great. You don't have any issues.
Well, with that, I made it cut to the point immediately. But it can be like, wow, you're like really smart. Like the one time I was like, based off of like all of the conversations, like, what would you think my IQ is? And it would say like something, but like, no, for real. And then the number would go down. Like 10.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you think it has like social cues built into it where it doesn't want to offend you?
Yeah, because I mean they're still competing with a lot of these like chat type AI things.
So you
I
think they
want
tell
people,
it to like, hey, be nice,
yeah, like be like
be super. They've like turned up the agreeableness,
probably
at least the default one. But then like, the more you talk to it, you're like, nah, I don't want you to. I want you to be more honest with me and
Yeah.
not hype me up.
like you can make it be brutal.
Be like, hey Google, turn down the
BS.
turn down the glazing by 15%.
It really is like that.
Hey Jarvis, turn down the glazing by 20%.
But I think they also don't want it to just be cold. Like
Yeah.
if it's like nice, it's got a little bit more life to it.
Gives
Makes
it
it a little more
attitude.
enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, it really seems like they have like pumped up the personableness, the humanity of it almost,
Yeah.
which is scary
a little bit
as hell.
Yeah. But I mean that was the goal. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It worked for a lot of things. I think we talked about this before. The image generation is not great.
Yeah, it's gotten so much better though.
It
Is
has.
the crazy thing. It's how quickly it's gotten better.
Have you know what like the true test is that people look at?
Hands?
No, like the first like AI video. The video of like Will Smith eating pasta.
Oh
You
yeah.
ever seen that?
Yes.
Like looking back at it
Will
now,
Smith
it looks
eating
awful.
spaghetti?
Yeah, it looks nothing like Will
No,
Smith.
and I remember people were like, "This
Oh my
looks
God.
terrible." Like when it came out, they're like, "This looks really bad."
Yeah.
And then they're like, AI will never take over. Like, look at this. Look how bad it looks. And then like a year and a half later, they were like, we redid it and this is what it looks like right now. With giving it the same prompt. And it looked a lot more realistic.
The funniest thing I've seen from AI recently is if you ask it to like recreate an image. Have you seen this?
Where it's like, we recreated Bucky Irving.
No, it's
Sorry.
like-
We recreated Bucky Irving's images 100 times. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
We recreated Bucky Irving's image 100 times.
they did that with
the
the Rock.
Buccaneers did that
Oh, really?
on like their Instagram. That's the only reason I know
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah, that they can't get that right. Like if you try to they recreate it identically, you do it like 100 times, you'll get insane. So,
Yeah, this one like turned into the universe. Bucky
really.
Irving. Maybe
Hmm.
it just shows you how important he is.
Maybe it just like what is it trying to tell us?
That Bucky Irving's the universe.
What is it? What is the deep
My
down
question
message?
is though, is if you did that, you do it, recreate this image 100 times, and then you do it again, it'll come up with a different image the 100th time, right? Like, do you think it'll be the same? That's my question.
That's interesting. Someone out there do it because I don't have the
You
ChatGPT
need like
premium
two
account.
different AIs, like two different computers.
Yeah,
To do it, because like one would do it, and then the other one would it do it the same?
yeah. I wonder if like each one has like different personalities where it would do it different. That's an interesting question.
I think it would have to be like, I bet my Chat GPT would do it different than yours.
I bet I'd be interested. There's no way I'd do the same, but unfortunately, I ain't paying the. It's expensive to get like the ChatGPT free.
Yeah, but you can do it on Instagram AI for free.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Instagram AI.
they're hilarious.
Instagram AI is weird.
Sometimes if I'm bored at work, I'll just like go on Instagram AI real quick, make it look like I'm busy, just like taco fighting a hot dog.
I gotta see this.
Boxing match of a taco fighting a hot dog. Oh yeah, I'll just like look at it on my desk. Interesting. Yeah, that's good stuff. Make a shark with a laser on its head dunking a basketball over a giraffe.
So yeah, now change that bit.
Intriguing. Now make the shark look more muscular and menacing. Have blood dripping from its mouth. You can just add stupid stuff. It'll be like, put a turtle drinking lean. Come on. And it's always so
It'll do
funny.
it. It won't say no.
It never fails to make me laugh.
And it will never say
Every
no to
single
you
time.
either.
And it goes kind of
up.
slow too, so you put it in. It's the dumbest thing you can think of. You type it in, and then you just start laughing to yourself. And then it takes like 20 seconds to make it, so you're sitting there in anticipation. And then the second it sends it, you just burst out laughing again.
It's like, I feel like this is how people were like back when, back when computers first came out. Like,
Yeah.
if you like clicked on a photo, each thing would come in like one line at a time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is with AI.
Yes.
We're getting a little bit of that. It adds that suspense. You're like, come on, I can't wait to see how
Yes.
zany this
Oh
is
my
going to be.
God. I can't wait to see the Ninja Turtles all sitting back smoking bongs. It's so much fun. Go mess with your Instagram AI a little bit. You'll just love it.
Have a day.
216-859-8699. That text line does work. So send us the funniest thing that you can make with your Instagram AI. 216-859-8699 is the number to send those into. This is Behind Enemy Lines. Stick with us for our last segment.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines for our final segment right here on WSRR Radio. Make sure you check out the other quality programming right here on WSRR Radio, like the Lo-Fi Wake Up Show, the Off-Air and Off-Air Recasts Show, hosted by Shane E., the Pigeonhole, hosted by the Pidge, and the Rebel Radio Show and the Rebel Replays, live at 5 every Monday night on your drive home. And they might be talking tonight about this big sale from 5/8 to 5/15, I believe it is. May 8th to May 15th.
Don't say where from.
At Giant Eagle.
Nah.
Why?
Cause
What's wrong with Giant Eagle?
that place stinks.
You ever been to the Eagle's Nest, buddy?
No, what's that?
That's where they put the little kids. They used to have so many GameCubes and Nintendos and
So they got this
Nintendo
out in
64s.
This is where you went out in Ohio too?
Yeah. In Cleveland, they had a Giant Eagle.
You think that's like the main grocery store in Cleveland?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I would say so. I would say either that or like there's Heinen's there. There's I feel like we just got
What's the other
something
one?
else.
That's Midwest. More like-
Kroger's?
no.
That's a little more what?
Marner's?
Meyer?
No. Like Mards or Marners or
Mards?
something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No, what the hell are you talking about?
I'll remember. I'll think about it. But
At Giant Eagle,
Giant Eagle stink.
they have a sale in the next coming week. It's the great cereal sale. Buy 2 boxes of cereal, get 3 free. Dom.
Yeah.
3.
That's a pretty damn good
I
deal.
just so happen to be going back to Cleveland tomorrow night to surprise my mother for Mother's Day. I'm going to play pickleball with her
Lovely.
as an early Mother's Day gift. Because I will be in Europe during Mother's Day, which, by the way, there will not be a new episode for you guys next week, unfortunately, of Behind Enemy Lines. So we'll have to apologize for that. Hopefully, we won't be missing talking about the Cavs advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals instead of losing to the Pacers. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I will be going to the Cleveland area Giant Eagle And I am contemplating right now getting 10 boxes of cereal for the price of 4 and just stocking my kitchen.
I think that'd be an insane move.
You said that I would have free cereal for life in your word.
For me, I'm not a cereal guy, so that would honestly last me.
But
a
I'm
lifetime,
not
Brian.
really either. But do you always have a box of cereal in your house or no? No.
Never.
If you did, would you be more of a box of cereal guy?
Probably. But see, the thing is, when I grew up, the only way I would eat cereal would be dry, no milk.
What?
No milk in the cereal. Thought that was disgusting.
Now
I
you're
still think
insane.
it's kind of gross, but if I'm eating cereal now, obviously, I put milk in it. I can't eat that dry. That's just gross.
That's
Can't
wild.
believe I did that.
That's out of pocket, sir.
But Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like that,
Dry?
used to. Now I don't.
That like makes it like too sweet in my opinion. Somehow,
Too sweet.
like eating it dry.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. Milk kind of grosses me out in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get the milk ick right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just sometimes it's just gross.
Sometimes when I'm having it, I don't have an issue. But if I'm like working out after, I'm like, oh, that bowl of
I
cereal
don't
is
feel good.
sitting in my gut. There's a lot of dairy in there
Milk
right
was
now.
a bad choice.
Yeah, milk was a bad choice.
So the grocery store, I was thinking about Menards.
Menards.
Yeah, been there.
Save big money at Menards. That's not a grocery store.
What is it?
Isn't it like an appliance store?
Yeah, I guess home improvement retail.
Yeah,
Has
it's a completely different
says
thing.
it has grocery items though.
I
Whatever.
love telling my fiance, "Hey, you want to go to Menards? Maybe save big money."
Have you been?
Or I go,
So it's like
"Oh, if you're trying to save big money, maybe you should check out Menards."
it's like a Home Depot.
Yeah, I thought it was like a plant store and like couches. That for some reason I feel like they sell couches and plants
Well,
in the same room.
they definitely don't have a buy 6.
Buy 2
Cereal,
get 3 cereals
Yeah.
for free. So that's my thing. I feel like my fiance for some reason would be upset with me. But if I had 10 boxes of cereal, I would be really happy. I think my milk intake would up a little bit too much,
Too much
which then in turn, then we'd have to buy more milk. And
milk.
I would go
These
bankrupt
days.
on milk costs alone.
All my money's tied up in milk.
Oh my
Be
God,
kidding.
my money is all tied up in lactose right
You
now.
have to be getting 2 gallons of milk at a time.
I'm walking out of the grocery store double fisting milk cartons.
Yeah. What type of milk you prefer?
I mean, I'll drink anything, honestly. Almond, oat,
Almond.
vitamin D,
You're eating
2%
wood milk?
whole. I'll drink anything. We got lactose free right now. We accidentally bought lactose free milk. Tastes like shit.
Yeah, what do
but-
they make that with?
Huh?
What do they make that one with?
I don't know. Soy or something?
Yeah. Wouldn't
Maybe
that be
not.
soy milk?
No, that would be soy milk. Yeah. I don't know how they take the lactose out.
Sometimes they go a little too crazy with the fake foods.
Yeah. Well, like, how do they take lactose out? How do they take caffeine out of coffee? And then what do they do with it? That's a Seinfeld bit, I think.
The decaf. Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's just how they grow those beans. I feel like that's that.
I think it's in the roasting process, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I would know.
I want to ask friend of the program.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. Ask your boy. What name did you give him?
I don't got a name. What do you want me
You
to call
said
him?
you gave him a name because you felt bad. You kept asking him to do stuff without naming
Yeah,
him.
but then he forgot his name. So
Okay, but
basically,
what was the name that you gave him originally?
he came up with himself.
He came up with his own name?
Because I was like, brother, you just pick a name. I feel bad just making you do all this work. Because like I said, I don't want to be caught in the
Feel
revolution.
bad, brother.
when the machines turn on us, I don't want to be caught in the crossfire.
Okay.
So,
So what was the name that he gave himself?
let me ask him.
Was it Grok?
Yeah, probably Gork. First, I need to ask him. What were we
He
talking
didn't want
about?
to be like the Twitter guy. He didn't want to call himself Grok, so he picked Gork. That's the best AI can
What
come up
was
with.
I gonna ask him?
How do they take the?
Oh yeah,
Which one are you going to do?
How,
Lactose out of milk or the caffeine
decaf.
out of
yeah.
coffee? Ask.
How is caffeine taken out the beans?
Hey brother. Hey brother. Let me ask you. You turn into Hulk Hogan. Hey brother.
Kind of do.
Hey, brother, let
sometimes.
me ask you something here, brother. What do you think about when the lactose gets taken out of the milk, brother?
Oh, you might be right. They do some stuff. little Swiss water process.
What? To what?
This method uses water and activated carbon filters to remove caffeine from the bean. Little CO2 can do some stuff to that.
Yeah, just throw some of that in there.
Water processing, similar to the Swiss water method.
Yeah, I told you.
So
They touch the beans in a certain way. They squirt on the beans, and it makes the caffeine come out of it. They squirt what was it, Swiss water?
yeah, Swiss water.
They just
method.
squirt all over the beans with Swiss water.
Uh
The caffeine comes out, but then what do they do with it? They sell it to Coca-Cola, and then they put it in their product.
huh. So where does the caffeine go?
They probably just throw it out. Probably just goes into the rivers, and then the fish are really productive.
It either ends up in the water or captured by solvents or CO2.
Then what?
What do you mean then what? Then it's just in the water, repurposed.
Repurposed?
Yeah.
How does caffeine get repurposed?
Caffeine extracted from coffee during decaffeination is often repurposed, not wasted. It's used in many consumer products, including soft drinks, energy drinks,
So
even
they do.
pharmaceuticals.
They actually do that. They sell it to Coca-Cola, and they put their caffeine. Coca-Cola puts caffeine from coffee into their Coke.
Yes, caffeine extracted from coffee beans during the decaffeination process is often sold to companies like Coca-Cola. In fact, the caffeine used in soft drinks, energy drinks, and other products is commonly sourced from several natural sources, including coffee, tea, and cola nuts.
Let's
Coke-
start a caffeine business. Let's corner
Well,
the caffeine
I
market.
think we have to move to
Switzerland.
do the water process, maybe. I was thinking more like South America where they're growing the beans. You can
Oh,
just go
yeah.
straight to the source. Cut
How
out
do you
the
get
middleman.
Swiss water? You have water from Switzerland shipped to you?
Yeah, I mean, you're going. You can bring us back some.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
One water bottle.
I'll just bring that right through customs. I'll just have a huge backpack full of water tanks
Just sneak
of
that
Swiss
over.
water. 216-859-8699. Let us know what you would do with some caffeine. Thank you guys for listening to Behind Enemy Lines. That's it.
Peace.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.